Our next speaker coming up is what most people probably come to hear. Michael Flynn is from BigGovernment.com, and he's going to go over healthcare, what's happening up in the Beltline, and talk about the financial reform bill. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael Flynn.
David. Thank you all. I came here from D.C., but don't hold that against me. We need to have a few of us up there. Let me thank you for what you do. You guys and your colleagues around the country are why we created BigGovernment.com. Andrew and I were talking about what was happening to our country and what was going on. And there are a lot of different ways we wanted to approach it. And then we saw these uprisings that started last year. And the general public just taking to the streets and saying enough is enough. You know, enough bailouts, enough spending, enough government control. And Andrew, I thought, you know, these people need a site. They need somebody who will go and fight for them. They need somebody to take on Acorn. They need somebody to take on SCIU. They need somebody to do this stuff. They need somebody to take on the media. Because the media is, not only they're not objective, they have a side. And it's against you. And you've seen, you know, one fight we've been in recently is about this whole, like, terrible media smear that you guys are all racist. And they totally made up a story. And they pushed that story up until the point that Andrew Breitbart offered $100,000 for video proof that this happened. That story's now gone. But we'll keep going on that. And we do this because of you, because of what you were doing. Now, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid thought that they could bribe enough senators and congressmen to get this health care takeover bill done. And once they passed it, using every trick in the book, they thought it would be over. But as you guys know, it's not over. It just started. And that's why you guys are here. And that's why coming up in November will be a referendum on this bill. One of the biggest government takeovers ever that passed on total partisan lines in a totally corrupt process. You know, they bought off a lot of the insurance companies. They bought off the pharmaceutical companies. They bought off the doctors, for God's sake. They bought off the nurses. They bought off every special interest in this country except one. That's you. And let me tell you, being in D.C., it shocked them. They had no idea this was coming. You know, Rahm Emanuel and Obama, they went, okay, we'll go one by one. We'll pick off AARP. We'll pick off the doctors. We'll pick off the drug companies. And then it'll be done. And we'll have nationalized health care. And some of the American people said, oh, no, you won't. And rose up. Now, I know it's depressing because they managed to get it passed. But again, they did it in the most corrupt way. And they said, once we pass it, the American public will love this bill. News flash. The approval for this bill has gone down every week since this bill passed. And it's only going to get worse. So what you are doing is very important. And we all, like, take stock in that. But I also want to warn you, there's more stuff going on in D.C. While we fight for this, they're pushing even more radical legislation. Now, the health care bill they passed is a government attempt to take over 1/6 of the economy. This week, the Senate is looking at a bill that they call financial service reform. That will take over the rest of the economy. Now, they say they want to get tough on Wall Street. Here's the only thing you need to know about this bill. Goldman Sachs and Citigroup and Bank of America want this bill. Every big Wall Street bank wants this bill. That is not getting tough on Wall Street. They are getting tough on small business. Those guys will be able to hire the lobbyists to massage the regulations and help themselves. Small business will not. Dentists are going to be under federal regulation under this bill. Anytime you go to a business and use any kind of installment plan to pay a bill, you'll be subject to federal regulation. When you buy your kids braces, that'll be subject to federal regulation now. It's the biggest overreach ever. It's even bigger than the healthcare overreach. But it gets worse than that. There's a provision in this bill that requires all banks to turn over all your bank account information to the federal government so they can look at your financial transactions. They can monitor your financial transactions. It creates a whole new agency to do financial research, which will track the spending habits of individual Americans so they know whether you're being smart or not with your money. That's all in this bill. And that's going to pass this week. So as you do this repeal effort now on health care, which is vitally important, get ready to do another one. Because you're going to have to repeal this bank bill that's coming. And they're giving you a line of BS that I've never heard before. This has nothing to do with Wall Street. Again, Goldman Sachs wants this bill to pass. So stay true to what you're doing. Now, we have a lot more stuff coming up, Big Government. I hope you enjoy the site. I hope you keep checking it. We are actually, Andrew's going to announce it next week, but I'll give you a tip. We want to start a Tea Party rally in Manhattan against the media. Because this fight really is about the media. And I see media around here, and you know, you people, it's not your business model that sucks, it's you that suck. So we will, at the end of this month, we will be having a rally in Manhattan on 6th Avenue at all the headquarters of all the media, and we will demand that they issue an apology for the smears they've done against you and retract the lies they've spread about the American public. But, you know, it doesn't have to be Manhattan. There's media here. There's media all over this state, and they are not a neutral observer. They are a participant, and they are the enemy, and we have to take it to them. We have a few months to put this stuff back. November is critically important. Talk to everybody you know. If you are in a place where there is no race because of the way the legislators kind of carve up the map and make safe districts for themselves, get involved somewhere else. Next week in Pennsylvania, there's a special election to replace John Murtha, rest his soul, because you'll need that. And it's a very, very close race. It's May 18th. It's next Tuesday. Tim Burns is the Republican candidate, is a great Tea Party constitutional candidate. If he wins, he immediately goes into the House. That is a +1 Republican seat next week. The other race next week is in Hawaii. Hawaii won, where the DCCC, the National Democrats, just pulled out of the race because the Republican is going to win. And tell everybody, this is Obama's home district. We're going to take that back. So next week, you'll have 2 more Republicans in the House. And now look, there will be a time to deal with the Republicans because they screwed up a lot. That time is in 2011, though. We've got to get through this. And we've got to do what we can. So if you do not have a race where you live, I urge you to find candidates around the country similar to a Scott Brown, where we can put our energies, put our resources, and get them through. Look again at Pennsylvania 12, Tim Burns, that race. All the unions are up there. All the Democrat money is up there. We've got a really great guy, and we can pull him through. Again, thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for what you do. It's why we do what we do, and we'll always have your back. Thanks very much.